opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it. Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another round, the 10th round of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. We're here at the gorgeous Autodromo Nazionale Monza for round 10 of the championship, the Italian Bore Prix. My name is Chaz Draycott and I am so excited to have back my friend from now, well, worlds apart we are actually now. Jack Johns joins me in the box. Jack, it's been a while since you've been in the box for one of these, mate. What is it that you've been up to? Just give everyone a little insight.
Thank you for welcoming me back. Hello, everyone that's watching. It's been a while, like Chaz said. I think for both of us, I've been away from my PC for so long that I genuinely have forgotten how it works. I've moved house, I've moved countries, so I've had to bring my PC across the world, and I'm now currently living in Dubai. So hello world.
Yeah, indeed, gallivanting all the way over there in Dubai. Well, fair play to you, mate, and obviously fair play for the commitment as well to be commentating even on a UK time zone. We all appreciate it massively. Now, talk to us about Monza, because, I mean, this place, it's very unique. It's called the Temple of Speed. There's a lot of just straight lines here and a lot of slipstreaming up and coming. But what little details the drivers have to be careful about around here?
This is one of those tracks that throws up about just about anything. I mean, if you look at it, it does just look like a load of straights where it is purely based on slipstream. But you've got some really tight chicanes, which are definitely, well, they're the only challenging parts on the circuit because it's the only other part of the circuit there is other than the straights. You've got the first chicane, which will be extremely tight. The curves are kind of smooth, but they may have to be careful of slowdowns there, because if you cut the inside curb of the first apex, you will get quite a large loss of time. The second chicane is a little bit trickier, I think, not in terms of angle. It's not as sharp, but the curbs are a little bit more violent and they can unsettle these cars. You've then got two right-handers, which you can see at the top left of the track map there. They are quite fast and quite smooth, but with these cars, again, we've seen a lot of loss of rear traction throughout the season, and I have a feeling that they can bring that out in the car. And speaking of loss of rear traction, that final chicane, Ascari, the famous corner, is a fast left-right-left complex, again with sausage curbs and possible brake retraction there into a gravel trap. There's definitely some race-ending corners. Parabolica, the final turn, is a fast right sweeper, where I don't think they have to worry about... Oh, no, wait, they do. The race director's note said they do have to worry about track limits, trying to keep it in between the white lines there on the exit and down the main straight.
Yeah, you can see there actually just on the bottom of our shot where the white line splits off to the right-hand side of the pit lane, obviously the left being the start-finish straight. The drivers have been told do not, under any circumstance, cross that white line or you will get a massive rollicking. Anyway, Cam Dance is currently not a man that's going to get a telling off because he is on the brink of taking the championship. Yes, with 3 races to go after this. Basically, if he keeps that championship gap tonight, he will be champion. He's 91 points clear of Christian Rose. Kevin Zemstra has jumped up to 3rd in the championship on 97 points. But after tonight, there will be 78 points available. So if Christian Rose wants to keep this title hope alive, he needs to win this race with Cam Dance no higher than 5th place. And even then, he will have to score maximum points and score one more than Cam for the rest of the season. All Cam would need to do really is score 1 to completely ruin that. If Cam Dance finishes 3rd in today's race, finishes on the podium, he will be the champion. It's as simple as that. So we'll look at some cars then, shall we? We've got a number of them actually doing very well up the order at the moment. Ed May and Michael Blake are 2 drivers that aren't always right up the order. They're both going very well indeed. We've got Adam Hedgecock just behind Christian Rose here. Christian trying to keep the championship alive, as mentioned. Cam Dance is not in the session yet, but he will be with us very, very soon, I'm sure. It's nice to see quite a good turnout tonight, actually, Jack. We've got 18 cars currently in the session. We're going to have 19 at least by the time we get going again, so this should be a pretty good evening.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said earlier, with the slipstream, they're going to be... it's going to be those fuel games that we've seen earlier on in the season, I think, with people maybe not wanting to lead for the initial first half of the race, just to try and get that advantage in the pit stop phase, which we've seen some of the teammates outside of this series take advantage of throughout. There's been a good 2-3 second gain sometimes in these pit stops, which has been insane. It's good to see Zwemstra on form in the last couple of races, even when I wasn't here. And he's climbed his way up to 3rd in the championship. He's currently 6th in practice with the exact same time as Pete Newman there in P5 in the Benetton. Yeah,
the Benettons have been going very, very well. And, of course, they hope to continue that as well. We've got both Ferraris here tonight. Jack Stiles, who we were just looking at a moment ago, did not actually think he was going to make it. Basically, he's had some university stuff to sort out, but he is back. James Underhill is back with us in the Stuart Ford in the number 14 machine. And it's good to see the commitment as well from Pete Newman, I must say, because Pete's had a bit of a torrid season. He's had a very difficult time at certain points, and he's had a lot of race-ending incidents as the championship has gone on, but he's back with us and he is competing once again. Look at the speed of these things down here now. They used to top out at 134 miles an hour on the high downforce setup. Now they're doing way over that in the slipstream on the medium downforce setup, and look at that, nearly 150 miles an hour there for Adam Hedgecock. Ooh. Incredible, as he just hits the rev limiter. It sounds a little bit painful, doesn't it, as they get right towards the chicane? But look, this is close racing practice in these chicanes as Shifty drops it. Oh, Christian gives it a bootful, lights up the rears, and around he goes, bless him.
I've got a feeling we're going to see that quite a lot in the race. There was no touch there. That was pure wheel spin. And there's so many corners where the rear can get light around here because of the sheer speed. It'll be nice to see all 19 cars in a single file line for what it's worth. Obviously, people will be trying to take advantage, making moves into those chicanes. I'm trying to think, realistically, the only passing, well, it's not the only passing zone, but the strongest passing zone is going to be into that braking zone into turn 1. Some people might try it into the chicane in turn 2. Unlikely to see it in the 2 Lesmos at the back. Might see it in Ascari. Parabolica, if I'm honest, it's probably smart to just wait it out for the next straight, so we probably won't see it there. But been proven wrong before, so let's see if anyone tries overtaking in that back section. Yeah, they'll get my medal of the day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure some people will try it, but I think the slipstreaming game is going to be the main talking point for this evening's race. I forgot to remind James to change the colour of his wheels, actually, so he's going to be in a Stuart with black wheels. while his teammate, who isn't here actually, would be in a Stewart with grey wheels, as they usually have. That's part of the amazing cooperation that these drivers go through for this championship. They all have to paint their wheels the right colour in iRacing, because I don't have control over that. But they have honestly been so amazing at cooperating with everything so far this season. We're going to also have the same qualifying format that we had at Spa-Francorchamps. We had 2 cars going out at a time, and it worked really, really well. The session was a lot shorter, despite obviously we had less drivers, but with these longer laps, I mean, it's nearly 2 minutes round here. It means that we can get the session done more quickly. People aren't waiting around as long. And of course, you guys watching at home as well can enjoy the session and not have to worry about, oh God, when's this race going to start? You know, when are we finally going to get around to it? So we wait now for just a few more seconds before practice ends, and we get the drivers out in reverse championship order, as was sent out in the Discord, which will mean that the first car we should see out will be Rob Lundgren. Michael Blake will go out with him. The two of them teammates at Arrows Yamaha. Michael Blake currently 4th fastest in the session. And then we're going to have James Underhill and Jakub Szymanski out there together. But just coming to the championship, actually, Jack, I mean, Cam Dance this season, he's got 7 race wins where nobody else has got more than 1. It's been an incredibly dominant performance, hasn't it? And we expected that to sort of stop halfway through.
Yeah, he's been insanely consistent in this car and with any of the Grand Prix tracks that are thrown at him. And I think what's got to be said actually is most impressive is not only the consistency, but they haven't been all easy races. They've been really tight towards the end. He has had to fight for them. There's been contacts. He's had issues, and he's climbed his way back up there. So it's really a good show of dominance for Cam Dance, and I wonder, can he do the same today, or is there going to be a spanner in the works that delays his championship, which is looking extremely likely?
Yeah, it is indeed. As we see now, Rob Lundgren's made his way out of the pits. This is Michael Blake. He's just going to leave about a 15-second gap, 10 to 15 seconds to his teammate. It's just to make sure that they don't get the benefit of any slipstreaming. Basically, we do have the risk that if drivers get close enough together during a qualifying lap, then they will give one another slipstream. So while we do have 2 of them out at a time, we like to keep them nice and further apart, really. Michael Blake only joining the Arrows team as of the last round as well after the departure of Morgan Butler. Arrows not having the best of seasons either, to be honest with you. In the teams championship, they only have 5 points and they are behind Tyrrell by 8. So not quite doing as they would have liked. Tyrrell are, well, not actually represented by any drivers here this evening though, so it's a perfect opportunity for them to at least get some points on the board. Rob Lundgren has said in the YouTube chat that he's just hoping to see the finish flag this evening. And it's been one of them seasons for it, hasn't it, Jack? I mean, he's one of those drivers.
Any finished drivers on the grid?
No, there is not. I like that. That's a good point. But, well, to be fair, if we did have them, I'm sure they'd be right up there near the front of the field, because we know that finished drivers are very good.
Crazy.
It is nuts. But Rob obviously still Scandinavian driver. He's had the very tough championship, hasn't he? Because there's always been incidents or there's always been shenanigans, and he's somehow managed to get involved.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid every crash, and I think if it happens all the time, there's always that question in your mind as a driver, like, what am I doing that's wrong? Because it keeps happening to me. But sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. You got to just avoid those crashes that happen either at the start or whether there's a big gaggle of you, which is going to happen in this race. There's going to be big lines as we are on board with Lundgren going down the main straight and approaching turn 1. Listen to this braking zone. Hard on those brakes, bams those downshifts. Actually quite a tidy turn 1 and 2 there. And you heard like a slight delay on the throttle. He really can't plant that throttle as we saw the spin earlier in practice. That's probably what they're wary of. I wonder if that's quite common for everyone and not just a driving style thing. So it seems like they have to be quite easy there. It's obviously flat out all the way through this bend. We can see some side-by-sides through here. Definitely slipstreaming all the way down to this second chicane. Another heavy braking zone. He looks like he's gone deep there. He's missed that first apex, but he has kept it on track. So he hit the second apex nicely, but definitely lost a bit of time. Let's see how Blake does at that same chicane. Is he going to nail it compared? Struggling, watching the laps. You'll have to keep an eye on the sector times because I'm not sure Look at that. There you go. He took a nice chunk of that first apex curve there. Again, you've got to be careful of the slowdown, but I think that looked legal, to be fair, to Blake. So he's going to smooth it around that right-hander. Back to Lundgren now, approaching Ascari. So the left, left. Turns in nicely there, uses a bit of curve on exit. Watch out for those sausages. Big confidence lift there on the middle apex. You can run right out to the green stuff and no 1x there. So this will still be valid, even though you crossed the white line at that point. Heading down towards Parabolica, which will be a nice, long, smooth right-hander. Can't see Blake in the background, so they've definitely left enough of the gap to each other, which is good. But Blake is showing up on the screen as 3 purple sectors, whereas Lundgren's got the purple in sector 4, but he's the first one to cross it, so of course he does. Is Blake going to go quicker than that? But here goes Lundgren across the line. First time on the board. Is it valid? Can't see it. Has he 1x'd it somewhere? Maybe he did 1x it somewhere.
I'm wondering whether he did that at the second chicane, you know. I think he might have just gone a little bit too wide and just overdone it. Maybe on the exit of Ascari. Asked a little bit too much of the car. All purple sectors by Michael Blake, of course. Cross the line, a 150.8. That's actually a really solid time, to be fair, considering there's no slipstream as well. A 150.8 is a very, very good lap time indeed. So no valid lap from Rob Lundgren, unfortunately, which means he's going to start near the back of the grid. And this is going to be the next man to start his lap, James Underhill.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want me to call this out for Blake, but I'll never forget the brake failure he had at Hockenheim in the Kia. I think it's one of my favourite memories.
Yes.
It was a big one. Hopefully that doesn't happen today, because there are some just as heavy braking zones. But Underhill, this is Underhill, right? Going across the line, 134 miles an hour as he crosses the line. So there's an extra about 15 miles an hour from there down towards turn 1. 148, it looks like they're topping out. 149 if they're lucky. That's with slipstream. So this one's 144 without, so they gain about 5 miles an hour in the toe. That's crazy stuff. Nice and cautious through that first corner there, and you heard him get straight down on the power. Went straight up that rev range. There was no ease on the throttle there. And this is Jakub Szymanski in the number 95 Lola, heading down towards turn 1. Hard on the brakes, uses that little bit of green curve on the. It really opens up that first apex there, and again it's. Feels, I don't know about you, Chaz, but it feels slow through there. But they're obviously very wary of ruining their laps and spinning through turn 1.
Yeah, this car is such a nightmare to get on the throttle. When you're coming out of a slow corner, you can really spin up those rears very, very easily. James Underhill's on a purple sector 2, actually, on his current lap. As, Jakub Szymanski's gone straight on at the chicane, and he's properly gone around, bounces over the curbs, overdoes it. Now, I know that he's not going to be happy about that because he hates Monza. Like, he absolutely hates Monza. He is not going to be a happy bunny with that one, and he's going to say, I told you this track was rubbish or something like that in the YouTube chat. But the man that choreographs all these qualifying sessions for us, thank you very much, Jakub, has unfortunately binned it. Now, James Underhill has done a purple sector 2, but not a purple sector 3. He is about half a tenth off what Michael Blake's done, so it's not that bad up to this point. Into the newly renamed Curva di Alboreto. And
I forgot about that.
I know, honestly, I always forget. When you said Parabolica before, I was like, see, that is right in my mind. It should still be Parabolica. Here we go then. James Underhill across line, 50.8 to beat, and he does not beat it. 51.086 goes second fastest, only to Michael Blake. Jakub Szymanski, of course, will not put a valid time on the board.
That was all lost in sector 3.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's Ascari that's costing that bit of time, or is that the Lesmos? I can't remember exactly where the timing lines are. It's the track map working, so we can have a look what the sectors are.
Yes, it's just before Ascari, sector 3. So that is literally out of Lesmo 2 down to Ascari. That's wow.
Yeah. Lesmo 2. Oh, so it's just one corner. It's just the one corner.
It's literally Lesmo 2 and then they run down the hill. So not sure how you can lose nearly 0.2 of a second there, but
it must be the commitment through that second right, because some people can carry some right speed through there without running too wide, and then some people like to take it a little bit cautious so that they don't ruin 1x the lap on the exit of that and the gravel. So maybe it was only a tenth, which sounds like a lot in terms of racing, but we know it could be minimal inputs that cost them that little amount of time through there. This is Martin Kenyon.
Yeah.
I'll let you go.
A wonderful, wonderful view from the front right corner of Martin Kenyon's car in his Lola Ford, hard onto the brakes. Martin's been having a good season, to be fair. He came into this and admittedly was last in pre-season testing in every session we did, but he's been enjoying himself. He's been out there every single race and he's pushing this Lola hard and he is scoring points, and that's something that Lola did not manage in 1997. We've got Christian Rose in the YouTube chat as well as Rob Lundgren. Hello boys, good to see you. Rob Lundgren confirmed that he did get a 1X, as we call it, out of Ascari. Christian is saying that the car is really, really loose out of turn 1, the first chicane. Kenyon a little bit cautious there, hits the curb on the inside though. He's done a purple sector 1 though, as the Lola driver at the moment. The other man that's doing a lap while he is this man, Ed May, in the Sauber Eds. Missed a couple of rounds of the championship, but he is back with a vengeance and he is pushing on hard now to try and get the most out of this car. In terms of the championship, Ed is 15th on 14 points, only one more than Martin Kenyon at the moment. Ed's done 2 purple sectors though, and we know he's got good pace when his internet doesn't play up. At the start of the season, let's not forget, he actually slipstreamed his way. Granted, it was with a bit of slipstream. He got on the front row of the grid, didn't he, at Phillip Island?
He did, and this is looking quick, Chaz, to be fair. He looks to be about 2 tenths quicker in Sector 1. I don't know if I'm reading this. Maybe I'm not set this to best lap. Because that is a lot of time found in Sector 2 if I have got it on best lap on the sectors. I mean, he is purple in both of them. We'll have to see. But Martin Kenyon's purple in Sector 3 and 4, so he's going to be happy with this. Where is this going to put him?
50.848 to beat. It's looking like about 50.6, that. It is a 50.685. Nice stuff as he crosses the line. Goes faster than Michael Blake and James Underhill. So well done, Martin Kenyon. Takes provisional pole position. He's set the bar a bit higher now for Ed. I've said to them, as long as their right wheels are touching that white line, it's okay, as long as they don't cross it. And Ed goes way faster. Look at that, nearly half a second.
That is Sector 2. He absolutely nailed a 17.2.
Wow, that's 8 tenths quicker than Kenyon.
Yeah, 8 tenths quicker than Kenyon, 4 tenths quicker than Blake. Underhill actually was pretty close to that in Sector 2, so I think I'm just seeing now his best sector in Sector 4 was also 2 tenths down, so it was Ascari as well, where he lost a bit of time. Kevin Zwemster in chat saying good evening. Hello, Kevin. All the drivers are coming out to play today.
Good evening indeed, Kevin. And unfortunately, Pete Harrod has got issues with his wheel. Toby Ward is having issues with his authentication on iRacing. Now, mine did that a while ago, and I had to change my password, even though I was putting in the right password. And I changed it to the same one, and it worked.
Mine did that today.
Yeah. You change your password to the one that it already is, and it lets you in. It's odd. So try that, Toby, if you're able to. Just start from the back of the grid. So we've got Ben Hoffman coming into turn 1 now. It seems strange to see a Williams this early on in the session. Ben was 3rd fastest out of everyone in pre-season testing, but he's just not had the season to remember. He's another one of these drivers that always seems to be where the incident is, doesn't he?
Yeah, there was always the same sort of group. Morgan Butler was another one that always ended up in sort of a bit of a mess. Unfortunately, but it is just the way it goes. Look at that. That was quite nice. Through the second chicane. It looked fairly close though. That front, I was watching that front right to see if he crossed the white line. These are the 2 Lesmos that we've been speaking about. You can see you got to run right out to the curb, and then this is where we were discussing where someone potentially lost a bit of time by just not being committed on the throttle or carrying the speed through. It's interesting that Rose said about the really, really loose exit of the first chicane, because that does explain why they were all going so cautious through there. All the drivers must be aware of that. John Tusting, green sectors all the way around. Ben Hoffman is purple in Sector 1 and 2.
Yeah, he was 3 tenths quicker than Ed May in Sector 2 alone. A 16.9 when Ed did a 17.2, and that was fast enough to blow our socks off. What's Tusting do? Wow, good stuff. 150.551. Puts himself 2nd fastest out of everybody. That's
Hoffman's
a really good time.
Going to go fastest, I think. This is a good time. And I'm not sure how much by. Could break into the 49s here.
Across the line he goes. 50.2 to beat. It's looking like a 49.5-ish. It is a 49.554. What a lap by Ben Hoffman. Flipping heck sunshine. That's why he's racing a Williams. That is the pace that we knew that he had. Brilliant stuff.
6.5 tenths. with no slipstream on a track that's mainly straights.
I know.
Demonstrating expert braking and throttle control there. It was Hoffman.
Well, considering as well that May went faster by so much, and we were like, wow, thinking that's probably going to be right near the pole time, and then Hoffman's improved that by nearly another 3/4 of a second, is incredibly impressive. But look how hesitant they are out of the first chicane. This is Tim Perry in the Prost Mugen Honda. It's good to have Tim back with us. He's missed a couple of rounds so far this season, but he and his teammate, he was actually teamed up earlier in the season with Craig McLeod-Evans, and is now partnered up with Pete Harrod, who unfortunately I think we will not be getting back this evening due to wheel issues. But Tim's been very, very quick when we've had him, so he's sure to be a front runner. He's purple in Sector 1 at the moment, I can tell you that for free. Waiting to see how he goes through Sector 2. Looks like it's a 17.8, but I think that was his previous time. 17.2, so it's not too bad, but it's not the fastest that we've had. The other man on the lap is Adam Hedgecock, and he's another one. He's had some very lonely races this season, hasn't he, Jack?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back, because I definitely remember some clips of Hedgecock having a lot of battles. He's been fighting a lot of people, which is good, and I'm sure he's been having fun. I'm trying to think of the one there's one in my head. I feel like it ended in a crash though for him. I don't know if you remember. I think it was Imola. I'm sure it was a freeway fight that Hedgecock was involved in.
Yes, yeah.
But
there was Lundgren involved as well. They went off at Villeneuve chicane.
Yes, they did indeed.
Now,
it's hard remembering all these. This has been this is a great season because it is spread across the whole year. You think back, it is you've done a great job in mimicking a Formula One season, Chaz, to be honest. Because I mean, we're still going. We've got 4 rounds after this, is it?
3 rounds.
Oh, no, 3 rounds. 3 rounds.
As Tim Perry goes second fastest, 49.8. He's also in the 49s. Hedgecock comes to the line, kisses that white line on the right. As long as the wheels are touching it, you're fine, boys. Hedgecock goes third fastest, a 150.083. Doesn't quite break out of the 50s, but still it's a good enough time for provisionally third on the grid. We've had the news that Cam Dance will not be here this evening, according to Jakub Szymanski, so the championship fight will move on for the rest of the season. So we're actually going to get somebody different winning a race, potentially. Could it be this man, his teammate, Pete Newman? He's due a bout of good luck, to be honest, is Pete. Let's actually stay on board with Pete and see what his lap's like, shall we, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a quick look. I don't want to talk over it the whole time, because I like listening to the engine sounds, but let's tidy through there, listen to the throttle. So sweet. He actually exited in... Am I right in seeing that he exited in second there? Have they all been doing that? I haven't been paying attention to their gears.
It sounded like the revs are a little bit lower than others that we've had, so maybe he's just doing that to keep the stability, so you're not in first and spinning up the wheels instantly.
How much is he going to cut this first left to really open up the right? This is where some of the speed is. You can see, as long as you keep 2 wheels on the track there, that is fine, but it really opens up the right-hander to carry the speed through. You can gain 3-4 tenths by opening that up compared to someone who wouldn't. Nice and smooth through there. Pretty stable. Let's have a listen. Just a quick downshift and a lift off, and then straight back on the throttle through the second one. No DRS in these cars back in the day, so that's well, they don't need it, to be fair. They've been so slippy that they've just been flying past each other, unless they've been lifting off to save fuel. Through Ascari, let's have a look how he attacks these curbs.
Whoa!
Hit that sausage on the left by the looks of it, but he's kept it fairly stable and survived. 2 wheels on the track at all times. I don't think he would have lost too much there. Let's have a quick look at his sectors. I can't see any purples, but it is looking... Oh, mind you, his Sector 1 was pretty fast. He's just gone fastest in Sector 4, but Jack Styles has taken that Sector 1 away from him on his lap as well. He's also on his lap, but let's have a look. Stay with Newman as he crosses the line, because this could put him quite high up. It's all going to be down to that 4th sector, I think. Where's he going to go? He does go fastest with a 49.3, 2 tenths quicker than Hoffman, which is impressive. But what can Styles do? He was quickest in Sector 1. Is it all going to be clawed back in that final sector?
Oh, I don't know.
I think he's 1x somewhere, because it's not going up.
Oh,
that is a invalid
Jack.
lap for Jack Styles.
Jackaboy, no. At the Tifosi as well. Well, at the Tifosi's home race. Oh, heck. Right then. Well, unbelievably, Cam Dance seems to be having the same authentication issues. It seems that somewhere there has been a lot of problems with iRacing going down very recently. They did update the new build today, the new build went up today, and there's still certain issues occurring everywhere else, I'm afraid. So we will not get Cam Nance for that. It's not because he's busy elsewhere. It's because he's got issues with iRacing, unfortunately. So this means that we only have 9 drivers that have actually put times on the board now, because we've not had Aaron Smith go out for a lap. We've not had Toby Ward go out for a lap. Jakub Szymanski, Rob Lundgren, and Jack Stiles have all hit an issue on their lap at some point. And Aidan Millward joins the chat saying, let's see if Ferrari nicks this strategy up. Same with Ben Hoffman as well, saying Ferrari style. They've bottled it, basically. Now we've got Silas Craig Vrolik and Kevin Zemstra on their laps at the moment. You can see Christian Rose in the background. He's going to be the final man to set a time based on what's going on in the session at the moment. It is a shame that we're going to have a few drivers not actually working, which is very frustrating. Apparently on the status page... Sorry, Jack. Go on.
No, go on. I was just going to say that these two for me have been my drivers of the season. They're so exciting to watch, both of them. Silas just chucks it at people. Zwemstra's made a few mistakes, but he's always up there fighting. Well, yeah, it's at groups, at cars, and he's going faster. He's gone fastest in sector 1, 2, and 3 so far. Zwemstra following, not matching this pace. Silas is looking on fire today here at Monza.
Looking very, very good indeed. Cam Dance in the YouTube chat has actually said that UI back-end services and login authentication are down for everyone on iRacing based on the status page. So if you're already in the session, it seems okay, but some authentication issues are kicking off, and we are unfortunately losing drivers. I'd be intrigued to see how this all comes about, I'm afraid, because...
This is going to be a 48.
Yeah?
It
is 48.3.
Yeah.
48.9, sorry. My maths is off. Still, amazing lap by Silas Craig Vrolik. Purple in every sector except the last one. What's Zemstra going to do? He can't go purple in any of them. He goes third.
Fastest in sector 5. It's showing up on the left, but it didn't show up at the bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah, third fastest. 0.5. 2 tenths off of Newman. Great time for the Benetton driver, still holding up there.
Let's have a look then at Christian Rose, the man that is hoping to keep the championship fight alive alongside Cam Dance. Cam is
What are your thoughts on the electric Porsche, Chaz?
I think it's a good addition. I've not seen much of it yet. That's the thing. I mean, it's an interesting addition. I think people are too quick to moan about it and say, "Oh, it doesn't make a good noise" or whatever. That frustrates me.
It's always the noise thing, isn't it? People always jump straight on that. I think it's going to be unique to drive. I had a quick 2 laps before I got kicked out of the session before coming in here. And one of the unique things straight away that stands out to me is obviously it's got 1 gear. It's a go-kart. It's stop and go.
Yeah.
Which it's going to take some getting used to. It's 4-wheel drive. But it's I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a bit of time. I feel like some people are going to be quite niche in that car.
Yeah, it's a very focusing one because, like you say, it's 1 gear. 4-wheel drive is always an interesting prospect in a race car. I've just got a quick technical issue here, everybody. I'm going to have to just jump off 1 second. I will leave you in the capable hands of Jack, but I'm sorry. I very quickly just need to disappear. Sorry.
That's okay. So, just me and you, chat. And we are watching Christian Rose, who's gone green. No purple sectors so far. 38.1. So he's actually 4 tenths down off of Silas in sector 1. 2 tenths down in sector 2. A 10th down in sector 3. 2 tenths down. This is not looking strong according to these sector times on my screen, if this is correct. But, I mean, it looks tidy from watching him drive. So let's have a look what he's done. He's going to go up there somewhere. He goes 5th fastest. 8 tenths down in total, so they did all add up. The sectors were correct. P5, though, is not the end of the world because, as we've seen, this is Monza. It's all about the slipstream. It's all about playing it safe, and Rose can still... Well, Cam Dance is not here. So wherever he finishes, he's going to close that points gap on Cam Dance, whether he likes it or not, as long as he finishes in the points, of course. Let's have have a quick look at chat while we're waiting for Chaz to return. Jakub Szymanski says, Chaz, you naughty boy, you forgot the warm-up. iRacing having trouble completing updates, needed to join a session. Duncan says hello. John says niche equals dead. Jack is my hero. Oh, look at you guys all coming in. Are you coming in here just to spam chat? Well, hello to you, Duncan Murray, F1 Delta. Matthew Crisp says, Silas, make sure your keyboard is out of reach. Lennart Schnebel says, is Aaron Smith driving in this series? Aaron Smith. That is, yes, Aaron Smith, the second in the Jordan Peugeot, but he didn't do a lap time. I think he's having issues. Ice Shard says we loaded in, but is that Cam Dance? Ice Shard, I think he's coming in. I think he might make it. I'm not sure we've got any more drivers to complete a lap, to be honest. So we'll wait for Chaz to return, and whilst we wait for that in the qualifying session to tick over, we can carry on talking about the iRacing update, I guess. So the electric Porsche has come in. Oh, iRacing died for everyone. Is that why everyone came in chat? I'm gonna give it a few weeks, guys. This electric Porsche, I think it's gonna be interesting. 2 laps was nowhere near enough to judge the poor thing, and I will. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do the first couple of races just to see what it's like, because I know the Porsches are a big part of iRacing. They release a Porsche every season, it seems. The 2 new tracks, haven't tried them yet, and pronunciation wise, I feel like everyone pronounces them all differently. Oscherschlaben or Oscherschlaben is one of the tracks that's been added, a German track. That's a paid track to iRacing. I'm looking forward to trying that in any car, to be honest. And Rodskogen, the Norwegian track, which is free. Can you believe that? They actually made us a free track. There's Cam Dance. Is he going out for his quali lap? He's just turned up. And it does look like that Christian Rose is not going to get that gift of some free points to close the championship, because your championship leader, 7 wins out of 9, is going out for his quali lap. Chaz, are you back?
Yes. Basically, the issues have been sorted. Toby Ward is going back in as well now, so we are going to give the guys a chance and basically allow them to do their times. It wouldn't be fair, if it was something outside of that that's caused the issue. To be fair, to have the whole field done within 25 minutes is, it's pretty impressive, actually. Normally, we'd take about 40 minutes to get through a qualifying session. So, yeah, Cam Dance is now out to do his time. Toby Ward is going to potentially do his. Jakub Szymanski can't seem to advance the session anyway, which he normally does. He's one of the admins of the championship and obviously controls what goes on in these sessions. Just apologising for the quick jump away there as well for a moment. I say technical issue, not quite as technical as your son walking into the room with a catastrophic nosebleed. It's something my son gets very often. And then to add to that, as I stood up very quickly and ran out of the room, the immense amount of painkillers I'm taking for having a humongous hole in my face at the moment in the form of where a tooth used to be knocked me west, as they say in the ghetto, when I stood up. So I just had to give myself a minute there. So apologies for that, everybody. It's just one of those things. Real life comes first. But I'm sure Jack did a wonderful job at covering and making sure you're all well catered for. Toby Ward is just coming out of the pit lane there now, as you see. So it looks like we're going to get pretty much everybody's laps done. Aaron Smith, I'm not sure, unfortunately. I don't know if he's been able to rejoin the session or not.
We had someone asking about Aaron actually in chat. Lennart Schnebel, is Aaron Smith driving in this series? He is in the series, but not in here. Is he in the session? Is he one of the ones that had the issues? Oh, I lost Chaz again.
I hope not.
No, there you are.
I was just going to say, we're trying to just check if Aaron can get in. If not, then the session will move on. Once Cam and Toby are done, basically.
No worries. Cam Dance, green sectors for his lap. This is the man that's been dominating. So is he? Do you reckon this? This is a complete. In F1 where people make really ridiculous sort of shout outs and conspiracies about people. Do you reckon Cam Dance is on purpose trying to qualify second or third so he can just fuel save for the whole race? Or is he lacking the pace right now for pole position?
I think maybe he's in a bit of a rush. So we'll see. We'll see, shall we? Jakub is working very hard right now, so thank you to Jakub Szymanski. He's back in the session. Everything is working. Cam Dance is not looking like he's going to be on pole position here. I'm intrigued to see how far back he's going to be. I think it might be lower than that, you know, Jack. I think we're going to be talking P4, 5. Let's have a look. Oh, well, shut up. Jack Johns with the estimate. Toby Ward runs it all the way over to the left-hand side in the Minardi. What time does he put on the board?
I think that was his outlap. So
yes, it was.
He's going
to
do his lap now.
Yeah, shut up, Chaz. I see. This is why it's good to have.
You were distracted. It's fine. You're back. You're back with us now. So we're with Toby Ward. Is he gonna spin?
Well,
no. And he did exit out of second gear. I was watching that time. So I wonder if that's what they were all doing.
I've been told. Sorry, Jack. I'm trying to communicate with Jakub at the same time. I've been told that there is no warm-up session. So Chaz has set the session up wrong. Right, yeah, we'll just advance. Once Toby's done his lap, we're just going to advance and we're going to go straight to the race. This is going to be a relatively short broadcast in comparison to what we've had before. Just to reiterate then, for anybody that's just joined us, the championship fight is very much on at the moment. Cam Dance is miles ahead, so the championship fight is not on. He's miles ahead, and all he needs to do in this race is finish on the podium to confirm that he is the first ever champion in the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship. Christian Rose needs to win this race with Cam Dance at least 5th or lower to keep the fight alive and to have less than 78 points between the two of them. After this round, there will only be 78 points available. 3 times 25 for winning the race and 1 point for for pole position. So, can you tell that Chaz is all a bit flustered now? We've got there. We've only had half-hour qualifying session. That is banging. Toby Ward at the final sector. Doesn't look like the most banging of times for Toby, but let's see what he can manage. He crosses the line and does a 1:51.5, which unfortunately for him puts him bottom of the pile. So Silas Krag-Vrolik is going to get pole position from the 2 Benettons, then a Ferrari, then a Williams McLaren. It's quite an apt front few positions. No Jordans on the grid, unfortunately, this evening. No Minardis either. Sorry, not Minardis, Jesus. No Tyrrells. God, who put me in charge of this?
I've just seen Super PV saying, don't forget to like the video. That is a... Have you paid him to say that? I need him to come to mine.
I have not. It's a good friend of mine, Victor Oliveira, bless him. He is an absolute star, a very good supporter of my YouTube channel and all of my streams, and I'm very grateful to have him around. So thank you, Victor. Thank you very much. And yes, he's right, actually. Like the video, everyone. Make sure you do give it a like.
Here's a question, a YouTube technical question. Sorry to bore everyone with this quickly.
No, go for it.
But the likes that you get whilst live, do you notice them? Do they stay when the video gets uploaded, or do they reset and people have to re-like it when it gets uploaded as a watchback video?
I think they stay. As long as you don't separately upload it yourself and it stays live via YouTube, I think those likes stay.
Oh, good. That's that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, Silas Krag-Vrolik then, flipping it. We're going to go straight into the grid here, I'm afraid, everybody. So, some of the drivers might get a shock if they think they've got a big warm-up session. Let's have a look at your grid then, shall we? Silas Krag-Vrolik, the Dutchman, will be on pole position. Pete Newman will join him on the front row of the grid. We then have Cam Dance on the brink of winning the championship, ahead of Kevin Zemstra in the Ferrari. Ben Hoffman lines up 5th ahead of Christian Rose in 6th. Then it's Tim Perry and Adam Hedgecock on row 4. Ed May and John Tusting make up row 5. Minardi in the top 10. Good going. Martin Kenyon, car 11, P11 with Michael Blake in 12th place. We then have James Underhill alongside Toby Ward on row 7. Then the drivers that didn't set a time. Jack Stiles and Rob Lundgren on row 8 ahead of Jakub Szymanski. Pete Harrod and Aaron Smith will not be joining us for this race, unfortunately. So you know what I'm going to ask you now, Jack? Because I always ask you this.
The drivers don't want me to answer this next question. They never do.
No?
Are you going to ask me who's my money on?
Yeah. That one?
Well, no, I've picked him way too often and he doesn't like it. I would like to say... well, I will be watching Jack Styles because he's starting from the back. I would say he's out of position back there with the 1X. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. But I'm gonna pick Christian. Let's watch Christian Rose today. I mean, Silas Krag-Vrolik, 4 attempts quickest in qualifying, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But Christian Rose, I'm going to be rooting for him today.
I think Shifty, as he's known, he knows how to play the game. You know, with the slipstreaming and everything that goes on in this championship, he knows how to play the format. That is exactly why he is right up there in the championship fight. And he is the closest to challenging Cam Dance this season. And he's actually right up there without a race victory. The highest placed driver in the championship with a race win is actually Silas Krag-Vrolik, except for Cam Dance this is. And he's 4th in the championship. So, we're about to get things underway then. So, for some reason, Cam Dance isn't on the grid. He's starting from the pits. So, the 10th round of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship gets underway with even more drama than we would have expected. Good start by Silas Krag-Vrolik. Pete Newman, of course, slots in, but look at Kevin indeed, Jack. He's flying off the start in the Ferrari. Cam Dance starting from the back, and it looks like Adam Hedgecock's gone completely backwards. Let's see how they get around the first chicane.
I wonder if that was tactical from Cam. Is he just going to try and make it interesting for himself with his massive lead? So he's now going to be one to watch starting from the back. Or maybe he just missed the start because he thought it was a warm-up, which didn't happen. But Kevin already lifting off and not making moves. So I wonder if they're playing it safe. Although it looks like Krag-Vrolik is defending. He doesn't want to do that because they're all going to want him to lead for at least the first half of this race. And I think he's going to know that. As we see 2x2 going through the chicane. That's Jack Styles. Oh, there he goes round. Every time I pick someone, round they go. Yes, I'm not taking the blame for that one. I picked Christian. Dude, that was all Jack. It gets very tight there on the exit. Just a slight tap on that rear tyre, and as we know, the rear on these are very loose. He's still in this. He's within the slipstream of Hedgecock, so he can get that back. I missed who he was passing at the time. Was it Lundgren?
James Underhill he was going past. He just cut the nose off him a little bit, I think, on the exit of the chicane. We'll go on board with James and see how this looked from his point of view. He gets a 3 wide call here. That is John Tusting on his right-hand side. You can see he gives him the space. It's all fair. He's pretty much on the curve. There's a lot of netcode involved there, actually. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no fault of anyone's there. That's just netcode. Look at that view. Oh, I love that. That excites me.
And that's what it's going to be like for a while, I think, in that single-file train with occasionally someone being optimistic maybe and making a move just to move himself one place up the order for when they eventually get to the pit stop phase. Cam Dance still in 17th place with Styles just up the road, and that is Newman making a move for P1, so he's going to lead this race for a bit. I wonder if they're just going to keep swapping, actually, as is the strength of the slipstream. Oh, Silas going to take it back. He sends it down the inside into turn 1. They're side by side through the chicane. Newman on the inside of the apex. They've got to be careful on the exit. They touch, and look at that. They've got Silas out of shape, and Kevin Swemster makes that move, and that is Christian Rose coming through as well.
I have to say, I don't think Newman gave him the room round the outside there. Pete ran wide, but maybe, to be honest, he was just trying not to put too much lock on so that he wouldn't spin up the rears, because we've seen how easily they can over-rotate the car here. Zemstra down the inside, goes back into the race lead now, ahead of Pete Newman. Silas Krag-Vrolik 3rd, Christian Rose 4th. Ben Hoffman is the only driver in the race that is currently where he started. Actually scratched that Newman, as off in the background goes Jakob Szymanski. He hates Monza. He's going to hate it even more now. Has he got damage? It seems like he's got away with that, but we need to go back to the front. We thought that it was going to be one big train here, Jack, and they were going to stay all in one single file lump, but that is not the case. We've got battling aplenty at Monza.
That is it. And so the slipstream stronger than expected. It looks like that it's not quicker to sit behind. They're going to be swapping positions every straight by the looks of it, as Newman goes back into the lead. Swemster slots into 2nd with Silas all over the back of him. This is from Christian Rose's point of view. He's dropped back a little bit, about 6 tenths back from Krag-Vrolik there up ahead. But is Silas going to make a move on Kevin into Parabolica, or the new name, which I always forget, as they're going to come down the main straight? It looks like he's lifted off, so he's going to wait until turn 1. Or maybe not. He really used all the curve on the inside there. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was all over it, making sure that he carried as much pace across the apex as he could. Cam Dance is still in 16th position. He's got Jack Styles in front of him, then Toby Ward. But look at this now. You can hear them lifting. It started already. They've got the first few laps out of the way. And look at all that lot. It's unbelievable. They're 3 wide in the background there. Martin Kenyon down the inside of Tim Perry and down the inside of Ed May. Tim Perry, very brave stuff, side by side as they go through the chicane. A little bit of contact on the exit, but they still get away with it somehow. You got James Underhill then all over the back of John Tusting. This is epic stuff as there's a car, well, sound like Rob Lundgren stopped there, and he pretty much did on the apex. Loses 2 places to Cam Dance and Jack Styles. Cam gained 2 places in 1 corner there. How's he done that? Now he's going to try and get into the points because you get points all the way down to 12th in this championship. This is epic already, Jack. I can't even get my words out.
Yeah, you can feel them hold their breath as they come round the apex of turn 2 in that chicane. They're all doing it side by side, and look at this, still side by side in the second chicane. Styles is going to try the same thing. Look at that, he learned from his mistakes. That was perfectly judged. There's contact behind there. That was Lundgren into the back of Ward. I think trying to take advantage of that as well, following Styles through, but just couldn't quite do it. There's damage on the front of Ward's car there. The front wing has a little bit of damage. I wonder if that was from a touch with Styles. Yeah,
I think there was a little bit of contact, you're right. Just gave him a bit of a kiss as he tried to go through. This is a good battle going on in the mid-pack. This is James Underhill, John Tusting and Michael Blake. Underhill down the inside into Ascari. Nearly has a moment. Now Michael Blake's going to be in the slipstream for both of these. He's got the Minardi right in front of him. And then he has the Arrows right in front of that. Look at the speed difference as you get in the slipstream here. Blake pulls out to the right-hand side. We've got Rob Lundgren off the road at the back of the circuit. The back of the field. His race, I think, is over. Blake goes through on John Tusting. That's surely just going to be temporary. Let's have a look at what happened to Rob Lundgren. This was into Ascari. Oh, he's lost it on the way in. Wow! Oh. Toby's lucky not to get clipped there. Very, very lucky.
Is that the guy on the right-hand side? If that was Toby, he's done the highest IQ move I've ever seen. Watch him just shoot off to the right out of choice.
Yeah.
Because he saw that car in his mirrors and absolutely took the conscious decision to cut that corner. That's rare.
Yeah.
And a good skill to have.
There's been a change at the lead as well. Silas Cragvrolic has gone for the lead. Pete Newman had it. Then Silas has gone past Kevin. And then Kevin has gone past Pete. And now they're all still battling away. Christian Rose is going to be on absolute pins here watching this, because if he has one incident or one issue, his championship fight, everybody's championship fight, goes out of the window. And Cam Dance, the man is currently just scoring 1 point where he is at the moment, down in 12th place, would be crowned as champion. It's epic stuff to watch, though, in these cars. I mean, it's always entertaining in this championship. I'm not biased. It genuinely has been very entertaining. Everyone that's been watching it has been saying just that, and we're doing it once again here at Monza. Oh, God, I need to get planning season 2.
You're going to pick a different decade? Look at Ed May. He's going to make a move around the outside of Ascari if he's going to commit to it. He's got the slipstream of the cars up ahead. Can he get later on the brakes? The Prost on the inside. Ooh, look at that. He's still there, and he has got the move done just about on the exit. But look at the exit that Tim Perry got in the Prost. They're still going to be side by side. Now it depends on who gets the slipstream from the train ahead, which is going to be Tim Perry. And who's going to lead into Parabolica? Tim's going to have to hold it around the outside. So these two actually losing the train. And look at that. Ed May backs out, and they decide to carry on another day. They need to catch that train up ahead. This is Cam Dance and Jack Styles nose to tail, and 3 wide in the back there. Look at that. Squeeze in contact there from Toby Ward into
Szymanski. That was.
Who did he drive into there?
Jakub Szymanski, that was. Moved over to the right and gave him a bit of a kiss. Not quite sure why. Maybe just wanted to try and squeeze him to the edge of the road, like you said, Jack. But fantastic battling all the way through. Look, they've got these little clumps of cars all together. You've got James Underhill here with Michael Blake and John Tusting behind him. These guys just inside the top 10 now. James in 9th position. Oh, and he was. Oh, I had to talk about him. Well, he did say to me, don't talk to me tonight. We were going to have him in for flash interviews. I'm kind of glad we didn't now, because then he'd blame us. He's probably still going to blame me for talking about him, actually, which caused that one. Here is the race lead battle then. Silas Cragvrolic, Pete Newman, Kevin Zemstra, Christian Rose, Ben Hoffman. That's your top 5. Then you've got a small gap back to Tim Perry and Ed May. The top 7 are covered by 2.5 seconds. This is fantastic stuff.
Did you see the rear of that McLaren on the exit of that second chicane? That was insane. Look, he's doing it again. The tyres must be heating up now, and that's why. So James is the first victim of that overheating rears on the exit of the first chicane. But now it looks like we're going to see it on all of the other corners if they're planting their foot on that throttle. But this train doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere unless any contact is made, which we hope doesn't, so that they stay this close for the whole thing, which we've seen many a time this season, like you said. It's been super exciting, and so many times have we seen the results decided in the last 2-3 laps. It's been absolutely insane. When do you think the pit stop window is going to open?
Well, I know that it'll usually open at the end of lap 8, so these guys have got a few more laps yet before they actually come into the pits. But it's interesting because we're already going into about third race distance. It's incredible how quick this has gone by. The races are actually determined by track length, so they run to a certain length rather than being timed races. And around Monza it may be a big distance, but they spend a lot of it near high speed, so it's actually going to feel like a shorter race. Now, there were a few drivers there, Silas Kragvrolic in particular, which did put 2 wheels over that white line. Now, I have said there is going to be no tolerance for that because, as said in a lot of regulations all around the world, the white lines are the edge of the circuit. They are the track limits. Now, I really dislike it when I see people going all the way over those white lines, putting the whole car over it to try and just gain maybe 0.5 of a second in a straight line. You know, it makes very little difference in my opinion. And I have said that with no tolerance at all, drivers will get 5-second penalties if they do that. I'm not going to lie, I think Silas just did it. As long as the wheels are touching the white line, stuff like that gets reviewed afterwards. So keep your eye out on all my social media and wherever you may see results of this championship, wherever you may tune in effectively, and you will see if any of that gets applied. But still, it doesn't detract from what fantastic racing we're having already. And it's nice to see Ben Hoffman up there, isn't it, actually, Jack? Because he's had a torrid season. It's good to see the Williams competing well.
Yeah, he's doing well, and Tim Perry behind him is just at the fastest lap, I believe, with a 1:48.9. So Ben Hoffman doing well, and this train being absolutely pulled along. Obviously, Perry getting the benefit of 5 cars slipstream instead of 1. And who's that hanging on? That's Ed May hanging on to the back of this as well, with Martin Kenyon just out the back there. And there is Cam Dance and Styles right in the distance as well.
Yeah, it's still all to play for in this front train as well. And Cam Dance and Jack Styles, well, they're teammates at Orbit Motorsport, so they need to make sure that if they are going to work together, which they probably will do, that they get it absolutely spot on and try to catch up with this train. Now then, Pete Newman goes into the race lead. Kevin Zemstra's gone with him on the right. Look at that. Silas knows now he needs to get back in the train. Moves over in front of Ben Hoffman. Christian Rose still on the left. Tim Perry breaks a bit earlier. Zemstra goes second. Silas Kragvrolic's got a little bit of damage on that front wing as Christian Rose goes side by side with Ben Hoffman. Ed May is suddenly back in this again now. It's just amazing how quickly these battles can open up and then close up again, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually. Silas looks quite cautious there into turn 1 when he backed out with Zemstra. Hoffman gaining on Christian Rose, so Rose obviously thinking about the championship as well. He doesn't want to get tangled up. And yeah, Perry and May are having a great race. I'm rooting for Ed here as well, to be honest, because he's had a few nightmares, especially at the starts of races. Lap 7 out of 18 right now, and he is strongly in P7 and well on his way within reach of any of these positions if anything kicks off.
Yes, indeed. It's great to see Pete Newman leading the race as well. Oh, we've got James Underhill off the road. Jakub Szymanski's come to strife in this as well. I think there's been an issue with multiple drivers. Let's have a look. James Underhill on the inside, Szymanski on the outside. Oh, Jakub's gone in hot. Is he going to lose it in front of them? He is. Oh, James didn't really have anywhere to go. I was going to say it's nice to see Pete Newman leading, isn't it? We've had a lot of Benettons leading this season, but it's nice to see Pete Newman leading a race and continuing to. Oh wow!
Did you see that? That is Styles on a sausage curve. That was big. That is why they should be banned. Oh my god.
Oh, the whole side pod's been ripped off it now. I was going to put rude pictures underneath the side pods on these cars because you can paint that bit. But yeah. Let's have a look. Oh. That's a very violent impact.
I don't know if it would be possible, but the shot, the first time we saw that, when he went in the distance, that looked really, that was hard. That's a shame.
Yeah, I'll see whether we can get this view of. You'll see him in the background.
Look.
I'm sorry, Jack, but I can't help but laugh at that. Wow.
He's still in the race. He's going to get his car repaired.
I hate that camera. Look at that. What is that iRacing? What is that? Christ. Anyway, Pete Newman leads then. Kevin Zemstra second. Oh, Ben Hoffman's definitely not going to be in fifth now. Then it's Silas Kragvrolic, Christian Rose, Ed May, Ben Hoffman. And who have we lost from this? Tim Perry. Tim Perry has lost a lot of ground. Tim Perry has lost a lot of ground.
I wonder if that must be a spin or something.
Ah.
Or a slide.
So this was before Jack had his massive incident. He's turned in a bit late, hasn't he? Because he wanted to try and give Ed May the room, and he's lost all that time there. And look at that now. He's dropped off the train, and Martin Kenyon's with him. But look, these guys are spreading out because they're fighting a lot as well. Hedgecock's had a moment and lost a lot of ground as well. He's lost a place to Toby Ward. He's still within the points. Cam Dance up to 9th place. You can see him just at the top of your shot there. Now, the pit window is open as of now. So it's the end of lap 8 is when you can start to pit. Are we going to see any of them do it now, do you reckon?
Yeah. Ooh. Look at that. Newman is coming in straight away. I was going to say, Dance is probably going to be quicker now as well because he doesn't have Styles pressuring him. Even though I think they were working together trying to catch up the field. They weren't fighting too hard. Just back on Perry, it looked like he locked up the front right, which was the tyre that was sort of loaded up as you turn into that left, which is why he just ended up going straight on. And look at the rear end on side.
Wow!
On the exit of turn 1. He done very well to save that. That would have been a hell of a hand movement to get that facing straight. But Kevin Zwemstra still in P2. Christian Rose in P3. Where did Newman come out? He's come out in P10, the first to pit, and his pit stop was 10 seconds.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Stationary, 35 in total.
He's got a run on Toby Ward on the exit of the first chicane as well. It's going to be important for Pete to not get stuck in a battle here with Toby Ward. I think Toby knows that as well. He might not give him a hard time. Dennis Melcher in the chat. Dennis, it's great to see you, my friend. Dennis was the Season 1 champion of the British Boring Car Championship. And if you like Jetters, you should check out Jack's website, The Racing Line, because he's got the Jetta Cup coming up soon. But I've not seen Dennis in a long, long time. I hope you're well, my friend. We certainly miss you as well. We miss having you around, mate. He's a very, very quick sim racer and a very funny guy, is Dennis Melcher. Great to see you, mate. Very great indeed. So let's have a look at this top 5 then. Ben Hoffman, he's at the back of this now with a little bit of a gap in front of him here, Jack. He doesn't seem to have stuck with it that well at the moment. I'm not quite sure what's gone on.
No, but 8 tenths, I think. He's still well within the slipstream, but you're right, they are seeming to pull away a little bit, and I don't know if that's just because they're closer to each other as Rose is coming into the pits for his pit stop. Be interesting to see where he comes out. It did look like Perry was also, he's not in the slipstream, but he is still there, so he could gain some positions later on, depending on what happens, so he'll be happy with that. Ed May now in P3.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and let's not forget as well, aside from the slipstream, you could see there, because Ben Hoffman's not in a train and he's not right behind somebody, he can brake as late as he normally would if he was on a fast lap on his own. You know, he's not having to check up because of the car in front. Ed May's just on the fastest lap of the race, a 1:48.91. Matt Draycott in the chat saying, I don't miss racing you, Dennis. That's because Dennis won the boring cars before Matt had a chance to. And, well, this is 4 different cars. Well, it's the same car. 4 different teams. 4 different drivers, all that are having very different seasons, it must be said. All of them have had their own dramas. It's great to see them all together on the track. 8 laps to go here at Monza, and we have a McLaren leading a Ferrari. As he is honestly, like, Silas is giving me hives here, mate. He is throwing that thing so sideways everywhere.
He is flying. Just a quick note on the pit stops. Rose has actually come out about 1.8 seconds behind Pete Newman, so Pete Newman has been putting in laps, I think, because he's fair. That might just be outside of the slipstream range. I mean, he'll be getting some benefit, but not a lot. So it'll be interesting to see now if Rose can catch him up and bring himself back into the race just by having that gap. And like you said, he can brake exactly where he would want to in qualifying because he's not right up behind him. And that looked like it was going to be close as Ed May moved up into P2 around the outside of Zwemstra. Brave or stupid? Well, they survived, so we'll go for Brave.
Oh, and then he throws it into the pits as well. So that's just to really shatter the morale of Kevin Zemstra, that is. That was cheeky by Ed May. I love a bit of that, Ed. Great gutsy stuff that to cut across the nose of the Ferrari before Curva di Alboreto. And you can see just on the left-hand side of the shot there, he slotted into the pits. So much like we had very often in 1997, we have a McLaren, a Ferrari, and a Williams right at the front. The only difference is that if this was 1997, they'd be all separated by about 45 minutes when it comes to the results. Cam Dance has done a purple sector 2 on that previous lap, and you can hear that he's sliding the tyres a bit. Oh, James Underhill's stopped. Oh, he's gone in the wall. He's gone in the wall, and I think maybe something's broken. Let's have a look. Oh, the back end's gone, and then tries to save it, I didn't see any.
Like the car's quite clean. I think he's just pulled over.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him, because around here it can be a very lonely race, as Christian Rose is now definitely not lonely. He's got Ed May right in front of him after Ed has completed his pit stops, or pit stop. Just give you an idea on the left of who's stopped. Apparently Cam Dance has stopped, but that's because he started the race.
Yeah, at the start.
In the pit lane, yeah.
Would you have a replay of Newman passing May and see how close it was on the pit exit, if it's possible?
Yes. Here we go.
So there is Newman coming down the pit straight, and then you want to watch Christian Rose behind. There's Ed May, so I wonder if they went side by side as they enter turn 1. Oh, that'll be frustrating for the McLaren, because you can see him. It does look like he's got a hefty lead. Oh, so it was close.
That's borderline naughty.
Yeah. But perhaps that's what should have happened with Max and Lewis. Yes, because that was pretty much the same thing. And look at these three, still at it in the top 3. No stops yet. Lap 12 of 18. It's got to be coming up soon. Silas actually looks like he's pulling a bit of a gap. He's set a purple sector 2. Ben Hoffman has the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:48.66. Although it's showing Zwemstra with a 1:48.6. Oh, that's the last lap. So confused. Purple sectors are going all wrong.
Well, yeah, I think Zemstra, he must have invalidated that lap. He must have got an incident point somewhere, because in our timing software it only shows as a purple lap. It only highlights it purple if it was a valid one, even if somebody else shows as having a faster one. So, yeah, it hasn't actually counted to his best time, despite showing like 0.5, 0.6 faster. So, yeah, very, very odd, but that's just how it works. Pete Newman, though, well, he's really one of the guys to keep an eye on here, to be honest with you, because he effectively is the lead. Oh, no, Ed May.
Oh, no.
Ed May's had a slide. Pete's the lead driver that's... Oh, no, Ed. Pete is the lead driver that's pitted, and Ed May... Oh, Ed. Ed, chill.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
Oh.
It's horrible. And I would hate to say... you can't lie. Everyone's done that.
Oh, God.
There's been one race. There's always at least one race where someone has spun and then they keep spinning, trying to get back on in the race. That's a shame for Ed, because he was having a fantastic race, and he's now down in P10, 8 seconds back from Kenyon.
Now there's a good view. West branding on a McLaren, followed by the Marlboro of the Ferrari and the Rothmans of the Williams. 3 very different coloured cars. And look how much later Silas can brake. And Kevin's got a little bit deep into the chicane. He's trying to follow him. And look, Silas is going to break that. Look at that. Fantastic exit. He's got 3/4 of a second on him on the exit of the corner. Silas just has amazing pace in the windy bits, doesn't he? It's the slipstream that's keeping them together. But base it on the qualifying performance. It was, what, 4/10 clear? Without slipstream? He's got that pace in the windy bits, hasn't he?
He does, you're right. He was 4 times quicker in qualifying for pole, like you said, with no slipstream. So it's going to be difficult to pull that off on the racetrack with the slipstream in effect, but it's not impossible. As we approach, we're on lap 13, approaching lap 14. It's got to be soon. Who's going to pull the plug first? I'm going to guess they're all going to come in at the same time and just continue this fight, to be honest, unless they are going to try and split strategy this late in the game. Cam Dance is in P5. Pete Newman now only has to worry about Christian Rose as Ed May's dropped down the order. It's going to be interesting. Not really sure what to expect yet. Do not go away, because we're in for a fantastic end yet again.
We are indeed. It's always an exciting climax here in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. Don't forget to like the video, of course, and subscribe if you have not already. There are more championships coming your way on this channel, whether it be from Nevo or from yours truly. I've got an exciting announcement to make in the next week or so keep your eyes out for that. But Ben Hoffman now in third place, having a really good race so far, chasing down the 2 leaders. Oh, again, they go for another lap. The top 5 are the drivers that haven't pitted yet. It may say on the left that Cam Dance has done a pit stop, but he started from the pit lane, and iRacing counts that as a stop. Tim Perry, on his own, continues on once again. Cam Dance is going to pit as late as he dares, I imagine. All he needs to do is finish on the podium, and he will be champion. And at the end of the day, Christian Rose has to outscore him still by a number of points here, so he still actually could win the championship at this rate. I think Christian needs to outscore him by 13 points. So it's not looking like Christian's going to do it at the moment, I'm afraid, because if he finishes second, he would score 18 points. So he would need Cam Dance to be 8th or lower. And I think with how things are going at the moment, well, he's not going to be there, is he? He's going to be a lot higher than that.
Sorry. I was daydreaming. I was thinking about what I could see Newman in the distance when we was watching Dance, and it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out after he eventually stops. These 3 were pulling gaps from each other, but they've closed right up again. It's got to be this time as we go for Ascari. Very close to the sausage curbs there was Silas, and that is dangerous, as we've seen with Jack Styles down in 13th. You don't want to do that too often. Is Wemstra going to make a move here to go into the pits first? That'd be quite funny. Is he going to do an Ed May?
I think they are all going to come in here. They seem to be pushing a lot more. They know they've got the fuel for this lap, and that is all they need. And yes, Aidan, it's me once again announcing that I have an announcement. It's an announcement of an announcement. It's what I always do. So, in comes Silas, in comes Kevin, and in comes, hello, Ben Hoffman hard on the brakes. That's the worst camera that I always forget to edit between broadcasts. So, into the pits they go. Tim Perry is in as well. Is Cam Dance going to come into the pit lane? Yes, he is. Okay, so the man to keep an eye on now is Pete Newman. Where is this going to play into his hands? So he's out the final corner. Look at the understeer there. You can feel that the tyres are really dying. And they're all starting to move now.
From Silas.
Very.
10.6.
Oh, Pete. Well, that's
10.1 for Pete, so it's going to be interesting. But there they all are. Look at the speed difference. All 3 of them come out in front, but he's going to pass at least one of them. That's Hoffman done. Is he going to pass Wemstra as well? I think he might do. He's going to have to go around. Oh, he broke early. He didn't want to risk that. He could have tried it around the outside there. But he's going to survive for another day as Newman. He's in P3. Cam Dance, did he pit? Have I missed him pit?
Cam has come out in 7th place. So even if Rose finishes 3rd, he needs Cam in 11th or lower to keep the championship alive. So all Cam needs to do basically now is finish where he is. He doesn't need to gain any places or anything. There was some incriminating footage of Pete Newman there, unfortunately. I have said no wheels over those white lines, and we very clearly saw that Pete had them, I'm afraid. So he's going to finish at least 5 seconds down on where he is. There was no arguing that one. Christian Rose still in this fight as well. Unfortunately, Tim Perry hasn't caught back up with it, and because of his earlier incident, Ed May is down in 10th position. So it has become a top 5 fight right now. And there's 2 Benettons. No, there's not 2 Benettons. So there's 2 McLarens, a Benetton, a Williams, and a Ferrari. Martin Kenyon's in 8th doing well. He's going to get some good points for Lola. Same with John Tusting for Minardi. And once again, well, actually, Adam Hedgecock is not on his own here because he's got Toby Ward fighting with him. 2 of the lads from Boosted. Well, it was. Sorry, Adam. I keep forgetting this. It's one of my best mates' teams as well. Adam now drives for Altitude Esports. Not Boosted. He used to drive for Boosted. Anyway.
Look at him breaking the slipstream. He wants this, does Silas Brolick. And, well, they all want it, but he is trying to break that toe. He's got nearly a 7/10 gap. So I wonder if that is working. But you said he might have crossed the line earlier, so that's going to be watched like that.
Well, at the end of the day, I've put it in Discord and I've said, look, I've got to keep a tight ship on this because it's just me running this. As long as your wheels are touching that white line, you're all right. If you're going to put wheels over it, every time you've done it, you're getting 5 seconds. Because it's the edge of the circuit. I can't stand it. It's such a blatant way of going over the track limits. And it may seem very, very minor to people. But at the end of the day, you have to enforce stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but we've just witnessed it there. That's just how it is. That is how it is. They can't say they've not been told. I've done pictures and diagrams and everything of it and put it in the Discord with a really long, well wrote out message. Tough. I don't beat around the bush with it. You know, I'm not messing about with it. You know, there's a lot of series that would say, oh well, don't do this, and then when drivers do it and they argue it, they'll go, oh okay, I'll let you get away with it. No, not at all. Sorry, I'm just getting grumpy now. I've got toothache. I'm knackered. And I'm grumpy.
What have we got here? So Craig Vrolic in the lead, half a second ahead of Zwemstra. Newman, oh, it's closing because they're on the straight. But you got Christian Rose there, still looking to get past Hoffman. Hoffman having a great show there in the number 85 car, P4, and depending on penalties, this could all reshuffle.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't envy your selection.
Well, Ben's best result is 4th already. He got that at Montreal in the Canadian Bore Prix, but we had a very reduced grid there and a very big incident that promoted a number of drivers. You know, no disrespect to Ben, but it promoted a number of drivers further up the order than they probably would have finished without it. So, yeah, it's what it is. But still, here we go then. The top 3 all together. Once more, Zemstra tucked in behind Silas, moves over to the left in front of Newman. Newman moves over to the left as well. He feels that the gap is there. He's going to brake as late as he dares now onto the penultimate lap. Newman's around the outside. That's going to become the inside for the second part of the chicane. Was there a touch? I'm pretty sure there was. They both get away with it, and Silas Craig Vrolic definitely gets away with it as well. The gap opens up once more here, Jack.
Yeah, so they're going to keep this side-by-side fight going now. Newman's committed to making the move unless he backs out into the second chicane, but they need to sort this out now. I think he's going to try and commit to it. Zwemstra's probably going to try and hold it.
Oh,
he backs
nice.
out. There we go. So Newman did get the move done. Zwemstra at P3, but look at that. Christian Rose did get past Hoffman somehow. That must have been into turn 1. And now he's all over the back of Zwemstra.
Yeah, Zemstra lost a big amount of time there out of the chicane because of the nature of how Newman was very commanding with his overtake. And he got the job done. He knows he needs to go chasing after Silas because look at this gap. It's nearly 9/10 of a second now from Craig Vrolic back to Newman. He's really on the move. And we've only got one more lap left to sort this out. The guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th know that they need to stay with this lead pair because it could all change around. Now, we've seen twice already that Newman and Craig Vrolic have definitely committed the crime. So anyone could win this race, really, based on how the penalties pan out. It may be considered harsh. Dan McCauley in the chat saying it is harsh, but at the end of the day, it's been outlined. The drivers know about it. And at the end of the day, if they haven't read it, then that's not my problem. So, Silas Craig Vrolic out of the final corner then in the McLaren, leading the way at Monza. He's going to start the final lap of the race. He's definitely not over the white line there.
Watch him weave down this straight now. He's going to do everything he can to not give any toe to any of the cars behind. But it's working a little bit, but it's still half a second. It's not much, and they've got the whole lap to do. We're on the final lap. Craig Vrolic, Newman, Zwemstra, Rose, and Hoffman all together in the top 5. I saw May actually pull in the pits and the tyre, so I'm guessing he was having a lonely race there in 13th. I don't think he had any issues, did he? Or did he have another crash? Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh, he did. That was a big one.
Very big one indeed for Ed May. Unfortunately, that is the end of his race. Into the Della Roggia chicane we go then on the final lap of the Italian Bore Prix. Silas Craig Vrolic leading Pete Newman, hopping over those curbs, using the gravel, using every bit of the circuit they can. Silas tries to break the slipstream wherever he can, with Christian Rose in 4th place and Cam Dance in 7th. Cam is currently on his way to the title. There's nothing really that anybody can do to stop the New Zealander winning it now, with 3 races left to go. But this top 5 battle is very intense. Silas Craig Vrolic breaking it in every way that he can, moving around, making sure nobody gets the slipstream. Kevin Zemstra in 3rd place is going to be tucked right up behind Pete Newman as they go into Ascari. Let's see what they do here then, Jack, on the final run.
This is going to be interesting. This is Newman's final chance down this back straight, really. I don't think there's enough of a run on the exit of the corner. So watch Newman. Look at that. It's Silas Craig Vrolic holding that inside line. And now that Newman's committed, he's going to move him back over to the left a little bit, I guess, without touching too much. They get fairly close. Kevin Zwemstra's in the tow. Silas Craig Vrolic still has the inside. He uses all the curb. But Newman round the outside. He's going to hold it as tight as he can. They nearly touch. Zwemstra's trying to get the run. Silas Craig Vrolic. Newman are going to be side by side. Zwemstra's... Oh, no, there's contact. Because he didn't want to cross the white line, and Newman is going to take the win, but that is a 0.000 second gap across the line showing on SDK.
For the second time this season.
Yeah, I was going to say that's happened before. Look at these two.
Oh,
that is Is that Perry? That's Perry and Dance going
It is.
side by side as well for P6. Dance just got it. Moves up into P6. That is your champion for the season with 3 races left to go. Cam Dance can hold his head high. Penalties depending, because obviously you're going to have to watch the whole grid, Mr. Jacob. But yeah, wow, what a finish.
He is indeed the champion. Cam Dance wins the first season of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship here at Monza with 3 races left to go. On the road, it's Pete Newman that takes the win. Selas Kragvrolic and Kevin Zemstra. Amazing stuff right at the end there. Let's have a look at this on the chopper cam, shall we? So you've got Pete Newman in the blue Benetton, the silver and black McLaren of Silas on the inside. Look how close they were on the exit. Silas moves over to the right a little bit. Now let's look at this here. So Zemstra goes to the right-hand side. Now they
goes to commit to the white line and then realizes.
Yeah, and he can't go any further over. There is contact. That slows the two of them down. Oh, Newman's won it by a country mile, really, hasn't he? Look at that. It's an entire car length. What are you on about, iRacing? The white line is there, so Newman wins it by a mile over. So
what is that? What is the timing screen saying? Look at that. Look at it.
Zemstra gets 3rd, Christian Rose gets 4th, 5th for Ben Hoffman, good result for him. And can we just show this as well? Because in the background, actually I don't know who it was in the background, there was somebody in the background. I think it was Martin Kenyon, you know. He comes out of the final corner, 8th position. I'm pretty sure it was him celebrating like mad, wiggling the car left and right. Yeah, it was. There you go. He flings the car around. I saw him getting very happy in the back of the shot. But your champion, everybody, is Cam Dance. He is the Season 1 champion of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship. Very well done to Cam. Well, what do we do now? That's my next question. What do we do now, Jack? Because, again, I'm lost for words.
Yeah, well, it looked, regardless of what the timing screens were saying, I love a finish like that, and I think that would have been some crazy free-wide finish if Silas had just left that gap where it was. I think when we watched the chopper cam, realistically, Zemstra managed to get his wing there, but the limit being the white line. Silas has obviously moved over to squeeze him towards the wall, being the track limit instead, and that's why the contact was made, and Newman took that win. But what a finish. Christian Rose there in 4th. Hoffman didn't quite beat his best result, but he's in 5th. Cam Dance, your champion, finishes 6th after starting from the pit lane. Don't forget that. He did start in the pit lane. And then Tim Perry had a great race for a majority of it. Just had that one issue, which dropped him down to P7, lost a bit of a gap. Made a bit of a gap, lost the slipstream. Martin Kenyon, as you can see, happy as a bunny in that Lola Ford, weaving for P8, done very well. John Tusting, I feel like I was half asleep. I didn't see him in my head. I can't remember Tusting being involved in anything, but he got P9, so it must have been good.
Well, yeah, it was stealth technology, basically, in that Minardi.
And then Styles done well to get P10, realistically, after absolutely eating that sausage curb and flying into the wall after being repaired as well. Adam Hedgecock in 11th, Toby Ward, and Ed May was one of the last retirees, really, in 13th after, again, another spin in that second chicane. A tricky track, even though there wasn't many corners, but a fun one nonetheless. Always throws up a good race.
It does indeed. Now I want to have a quick look back at this, because these are the final moments of the race between Jack Styles, Adam Hedgecock, and Tony Ward. Toby Ward. Now, Jack Styles somehow finished a long way ahead of these boys by the look of it. But this was... this might be why. So the checkered flag came out. Hedge has had an issue there. I've clicked... Oh, no, I've not. I've not clicked checkered flag. Sorry, I've clicked white flag. So Jack Styles then No. Yeah, this is checkered flag.
Yeah, you were right. So that'll be the spin from Hedgecock. And then Toby Ward has had to react, and he's probably broke or lifted off after seeing the car spin, and Jack Styles did not, which gave him the run into this final corner. And then there's the contact, which made it an even bigger gap into the final turn.
But watch this.
Hedgecock comes back. It takes his position back.
It just gets him at the line, bless him. After that spin, he would have been laughing his head off at that one. Absolutely laughing his head off, knowing that Toby had some sort of issue. And, well, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable entertainment once again from the Chaz Draycott Media Formula One World Championship. Let's have a chat with our race winner, shall we? Because, I mean, it was more than lively, to say the least. Pete Newman, welcome to the chat, my friend. You must be over the moon with that one because you were right in the thick of it and you didn't get belted out the way for once.
No, that was awesome, Chaz. Obviously, just made up for a lot of incidents in the series, like some my fault, some not my fault. But yeah, that's definitely made up for it. Awesome racing with the Silas, Kevin. Sort of not virtually, but you know, sort of trying to keep tabs on where they were and like sort of my pace. And yeah, when they come out the pits exactly the same point, it sort of gave me the confidence to be like, well, we've got reasonable pace here. We can potentially get ourselves in a position. And yeah, going into what was it, like maybe 3 or 4 laps to go, and you had to try and get the move on Kevin. Like had a little 0x into the first corner with him, but like try to give as much room as possible on the exit, and yeah, managed to get it done in the next corner, and then it's just focus on Silas from that.
Yeah, it was a mega finish once again, and even, I mean, well, it was a clear car length at least from you back, but for some reason SDK decided to tell us it was 0 thousandths of a second again, but Jack and I knew that definitely wasn't the case. It was much more comfortable than that. But talk me through the...
It wasn't comfortable.
Oh, no, I was going to say, yeah, that's probably the last word you'd use to describe it. Talk me through the pit strategy, though, because obviously you pitted a lot earlier than everybody else. Did you know that that was going to work out, or was that just a risk you wanted to take?
I just knew like we were doing pace at the front just before the pit stop. That was what I could probably do by myself, so I just felt it'd be nice to get some clean air, get my head down, and I think that's what focused me in there for the last couple of laps, because I was just in the zone.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you are doing the same sort of pace, and it just makes a difference to your confidence as well, like you're saying, to the last few laps or so. But we noticed as well at certain points that I think we were on board with either Ben Hoffman or Tim Perry, who was sort of towards the back of that train. And as soon as they lost a bit of time halfway around a lap, they gained it all back again into turn 1, just because they didn't have to brake because of the car in front of them. They could just close up accordion style and just get back involved in the train. But it looked like another very fun race in a big group of cars again. Talk to us about the rest of the season, though. Austria next at the Red Bull Ring. What do you think about going there?
I kind of get along with that track in the MX-5, so who knows? Anything's possible. I think for me, after this week, I definitely need to practice in this car. You know, apologies for the last couple of times we've been out in these things. Races have been pretty awful from my part, and it's, you know, trying to jump in this car when my, you know, sort of go-to one is the touring car or an MX-5 is, you know, pretty difficult. I'm sure it is for half the grid as well, but yeah, it's just getting that braking point right sometimes is tricky.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's one of them circuits where you've got a long old time to think about the braking zones when you're just flat out for that long, but still very entertaining. Pete, great to see you get the win as well. And of course, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to while we've got you?
Well, yeah, you know, this is my first win in this league, so if I can dedicate it to someone, it's going to be my mum. She's suffering with cancer at the moment, so you know, bless her, and yeah, fingers crossed all goes well with the treatment she's going through. But aside from that, you know, thank you guys for putting on the league. Thanks to Pure Sims for being an awesome team, you know, backing me, and Christian. And yeah, just thanks to everybody else in the league. It's been a pretty decent season. Really enjoying the paints, you know, the paint work, you know, the guys taking the photos. Sorry, his name's on the tip of my tongue, but sorry, forgotten. But yeah, just everybody, thank you.
Well, thank you, Pete, and of course we send our best wishes as well to you, your family, and your mum as well for everything that comes her way. So fingers crossed, mate, and obviously thank you for joining us again, and we'll hopefully speak to you again soon, mate. Nice job.
Brilliant. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. Lovely stuff to speak to Pete Newman. He's an absolute star, is Pete. I've been a really good friend of his for a while, and we used to be teammates together at CQR, which then became Pure Sims, and he's a really, really top bloke. Another top bloke that's been doing very well this season and gets a 8th place finish this evening is Martin Kenyon. Martin, welcome to the booth, my friend. You must be over the moon about tonight, mate, because that was a right old laugh for you, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a relief. This season, like, I'm not a road course driver, so like I've focused on like 4 tracks to like try and perform at, and like 2 of them I've gotten, and I've always had incidents. So to have an incident-free race and get into top 10 just on pace has just been amazing.
Well, that's the thing. I've mentioned it all season, not to sort of bring it up again, but after how pre-season testing went, and the sort of pace that you had, I've always commended the fact, Martin, that you are always coming back. You're there every race, and you're always putting the time in. This is not an easy car to learn when you're used to oval stuff either. I mean, they're loose little things, but you don't have to throw them around things that are as twisty as half the tracks we go to here. And it's been great to see that pace and that determination from you. What's been the secret to it all, really? Is there anything in particular you could think of?
Well, with these cars, it's quite difficult because they're quite low and they're quite firm compared to oval cars, and they weigh nothing. So you go over, there's no curbs in oval, and you go over curbs in this thing, and it will just set you off. So I think learning the tracks and learning which curbs to avoid and stuff has helped me pick up my pace.
Well, that's it. There's many a way you can sort of try to find these little tiny improvements here and there, but to get an improvement like you have, Martin, and to keep the pace as well, it's great. And obviously results like that really reflect that. So congrats from us here. We go to the Red Bull Ring next up. What do you make about going there, mate?
That's one of my 4 tracks I quite enjoy. So hopefully I'll have another incident-free race and get another decent result.
Well, we look forward to watching it, Martin, and of course we hope to see the Lolas doing well once more. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Oh, just everyone taking part in the season, and you for putting it on for us. Been well fun. I always say I'd like to say good luck to Pete's mum, and obviously thank you for everyone who's watching.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of it, Martin. It's a pleasure to have you, mate, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon. Have a good evening.
Yeah, bye. Cheers.
There we go then, Martin Kenyon. And to be honest, Jack, I mean, it's true, isn't it, really? Martin's been an absolute star of this championship in the way that he's just been so determined to keep coming back time and time again. He may not be the fastest driver out there, but he takes every little improvement as a win, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think, especially in sim racing, I think it's the best way to be. Really respect all drivers with that sort of attitude, turning up, no matter how big the grid is. Someone's got to finish sort of in all the positions. So for example, let's say that there was 20 cars out there, and I mean he's done well in all the races, but again, just for an example, and he was finishing, let's say, between 20th and 17th in every race, just with that constant drive and that enthusiasm, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, getting a P10 or a P8 as it was today, it's you get that same feeling as a win, really, at times, because it's like, it's so unexpected, and you've worked hard for it, you kept going, you've kept that enthusiasm up, and it really is. There's so many people like that, and yet it's also a rare thing. It's one of those situations. Not many people can keep going. A lot of people would give up, but it makes it so worth it when a finish like that comes along.
Yeah, it certainly does, and Martin is definitely a highlight of just the determination that you can get from sim racers, and people that just enjoy it for the fact that they're racing. They get involved in a championship that's not their usual cup of tea, and just enjoy it, and turn up every week. It's great, really great. Another person that is very great and that I've been looking forward to speaking to is Mr. Christian Rose, who joins us in the chat. It didn't quite come together tonight, Christian, but still an amazing night's racing once again, with cars all over you at all times. Talk us through it.
Yeah, no, first of all, huge congratulations to Cam on the championship, and also to Pete for the race win tonight. He drove fantastically well, especially after the early stop, which I then followed suit. And yeah, his pace was just a bit too fast for me tonight. But yeah, really good, respectful racing.
Yeah, and I mean, at a circuit like this, there was always a little bit of concern about what people do when you're driving in a straight line really fast, because tiny movements here can cause catastrophic accidents. But I think everybody behaved themselves tonight, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I can't speak for what happened behind me. I didn't see anything, but the group I was in, it was all fair. Everyone was concise with their moves. It was very well directed, and it was down to everyone to make sure that the racing was fun, and safe, which ultimately happened. And yeah, there was a fantastic finish.
Certainly was. Once again, another close finish in this championship that came right down to the wire. We're probably going to get more of that in the future as well, because we go to Red Bull Ring next, and that's going to be slipstream in heaven as we go back to the high downforce setup once again. What do you make of going around there in these cars?
I'll find out. It's going to be more of the same, isn't it, really? Long straights and tight corners. Okay, the bit in the middle of the track's probably where you're going to win or lose the race. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like around there, and hopefully the racing's just as good.
I'm sure it will be, mate, and we look forward to seeing how you get along in it all as well. Thanks once again for turning up tonight, Christian. Really appreciate it, mate, and obviously commiserations on the championship, but now it's the job to make sure you secure second, I guess. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Firstly, I'm going to try and win the non-can dance championship. Just a shout out to yourself and Jack for commentating tonight. I'm looking forward to watching it back. And again, for putting on this series. And then just shout out to everyone at Pure Sims, really. And once again, a huge congratulations to Pete and to Cam.
Beautiful stuff. Well, always a pleasure, Christian. Thank you very much, mate, and we'll see you at the Red Bull Ring in a few weeks. Nice one.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers. Well, there we go then. Christian Rose finishing 4th overall tonight, still second in the championship, but Cam Dance is officially your Season 1 champion of the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship. And put it like this, it is today, the 7th of September. The season concludes on the 9th of November. We've still got 2 months left, and Cam is already champion. Yes, it may only be 3 races, but still, that is a fantastic, fantastic performance by Cam Dance. Very well done indeed. Just quickly, Jack, any sort of final thoughts from you on this evening? Because it's been another mental one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm still trying to digest what happened. Monza is still up there as a jewel in the tracks on iRacing, the game. Sim.
Whoa.
The domination that is Cam Dance started from the pits, made it up to a position where he needed to be, and now it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the rest. It's a shame about Zwemstra and Silas at the end, but it made for a good finish. It's what a great race. And Red Bull Ring next, which is just as slipstreamy, and as one of the newer tracks. I think it's one of those ones because of the altitude, I guess, is the real reason, where the slipstream is strong. So I feel like we're going to be in for another corker next time out.
We certainly are, mate. And thanks again, Jack. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you. Glad the move to Dubai has gone well, and of course we wish you all the best out there. But that is all for this evening in the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship, everybody. We hope you all have a fantastic night. We hope you enjoyed the racing, and we will see you again very, very soon. Have a good evening.
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car. Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it.